But we should do a round of applause. Thank you for the hospitality.
Morning. Morning. How is everyone today? Right? Bushy tail? Feeling good? I love speaking first thing in the morning after a hospitality room. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Anyways, greetings. It's nice to see all of you. You look around the room here, and I recognize a lot of you from over the years, last few years, beyond, all the different actions and fights that we've had, times and shots, good times, hard times. It's an interesting time to be in America, isn't it? You know, interesting time. But as always, I want to thank Ann McNeary. Wave hi, Ann, because she does a good job thanking everyone else. But let's give her a round of applause. I think she was blushing. Anyways, brothers and sisters, welcome. Thank you for the invitation and the chance to address your conference here. 2017. It's off to a bizarre start. It seems like everything changes by the hour, every hour. It's hard to keep up with the news of the minute, let alone the day. And when issues pop up by the hour, some last, some are stopped, paused, or changed. There have been mass mobilizations in the streets across the country, and there's been mass mobilizations across the world. So it left me thinking, how do you talk about current events and the energy that is out there? Well, these are new times. These are challenging times. And often at times, these are head-scratching times, right? Right. To figure out what's going on. What are we doing with the Russians? What are we doing here? What are we doing there? We have to be very careful because, you know, you turn on the news and everyone gets addicted to the news. Right, Doug?
Yes.
Yes, he gets up 2 hours early to watch the news every day.
Well.
But that's happening to a lot of people because, you know, everybody's wondering, you know, what's really happening? What's this new energy? What's going on in Washington? So while people are really focused on and talking about, you know, Trump and the Russians, or how much money does it cost for him to go golfing every weekend, or keeping his wife and kid in New York? While we're having those discussions, and that's consuming all the news and all the dialogue, there are a lot of really bad things going on being introduced in Congress, taking away people's rights, attacking their health care. There's a lot of really bad things going on in Madison. You can read a lot about them in the state budget. Constantly attacking working families, constantly making it harder and harder and harder for us to make a living. So from these challenges and struggles, there are things we can learn from, and there's things we can take away from this. It's clear that the labor movement has had a message, and we've been organizing around this message for decades. We've been moving this message. We've been talking to coworkers, members, local leaders, federal leaders, and everyone in between. And we've been talking about why trade deals like NAFTA and the TPP that don't put working people first are bad for our entire country and our economy. We've talked about the need for investment in infrastructure, the crumbling infrastructure happening in the state, around the country. You know, we have to be competitive with countries from all around the world, and we're not going to be competitive if our infrastructure continues to crumble at the pace it's crumbling. So we've been talking about lagging wages, not a good thing. We've been talking about the need for the average American to be able to make decent pay with a job that has decent benefits. You know, like I like to say, we like to talk about union jobs, right?
Right.
You say union jobs, that's what we're talking about. And we got to keep talking about it. We've talked about the disappearance of good family-supporting jobs from our local communities all around Wisconsin. The need to seriously address job growth and the access to good jobs for workers. Good jobs. So these are the core issues and messages and purpose of the labor movement. And these messages became the talk of the 2016 elections. They became the agenda. They became what people talked about when you turned on the news. The trade deficit, what's happening to workers, where are our wages at? And that happened, brothers and sisters, because of our efforts. The work we did over the years, our coalition efforts, our grassroots efforts, our organizing efforts put those issues there. They didn't just come out of the sky. They didn't just wake up one day and say, well, we better address this trade thing. People are really upset. They knew people were upset because of the work that you've done, we've done, to put those issues there front and center and make them be debated about. It wasn't just Donald Trump. It was Bernie Sanders. It was Hillary Clinton. It was candidates for Congress all across this country that started to say TPP is bad. So they took on these issues. They debated the issues. So we need to recognize this and the powerful potential it gives the labor movement. Because we do have collective power. And there are ways to work through people-powered systems to affect how people feel about the issues. And now, the latest research shows that about 1/2 of non-union workers want to join unions. So those are some positives we can take away. Our agenda, our message, it's moving. It's registering around the country. The Pew surveys and others show that people are changing their attitudes about unions and want to join a union, given a chance. So those are positives. You know, labor laws may be stacked against workers, and anti-union politicians may try to pull the rug out from workers, but we do have support. We are needed, and we are wanted in workplaces across this country. So we must be focused on our goals moving forward. Our goals are to advocate for our members and all workers, to have better wages, to have decent benefits, to have safe workplaces. People should be able to go to work and come home at night without being hurt or killed. For people to have access to good family-supporting jobs. Now more than ever, the only way any of this is going to be accomplished is through collective bargaining and organizing. So here lies the opportunity. As our workplaces become more deregulated and worker rights and protections are rolled back one by one, and we've already seen it with the fair overtime regulations, safety regulations in the construction industry, and we're going to see more of it. So as these victories and these rights and these laws for working people are peeled back, chipped away, the value of unions become even more important for people's safety and livelihood. People want to have overtime, what should they do? Join a union. People want to have family medical leave, what should they do? Join a union. People want to have fair pay, equal pay, what should they do? Join a union. Exactly. We are the answer in this time. We are the answer. Let us remember that. It's up to us to organize, not to shy away from our roots, to get back to basics, organizing, mobilizing, negotiating good contracts that benefit our members. If you're wondering who's going to solve the economic problems, if you're wondering who's going to fight for worker justice, it's not going to be a politician in Washington. It's not going to be a politician in Madison. Go look in the mirror, because the answer is it's you, it's us, it's all of us collectively. You look at the issues that people are whining about, talking about on TV, all the things we just talked about, wages, safety, so on and so forth. Have some courage. Form a union. Collectively bargain. Address those things together. That's how you're going to achieve fairness, and it's up to us to make sure that we talk about the value of unions and being union proud and putting that message forward. We have to see something. So Wisconsin, well, you know, there's a little bit of an economic recovery going on in this nation. However, Wisconsin's job growth lags behind the rest of the nation. Our middle class is shrinking faster than any other state in the country. We're dealing with the chaos of the nation, but we're also dealing with one of the most anti-worker governors who has led the state in the wrong direction. Governor Walker has attacked union rights in the public and private sector. And now we're pushing for repealing the prevailing wage and project labor agreements in the construction industry. So, when you think of Walker, think about this. We're in a global economy, right? You know, we're no longer competing with people one town over or one state over. We're now dealing with Asia. We're dealing with different countries. So, you know, to be competitive in this economy, you got to have infrastructure. You got to have training. You got to have education. All those things this guy turned away or has cut. But most of all, you got to bring people together, right? I mean, if you're really going to lead in this economy, if you're really going to lead in this world, you got to bring people together so people can work together, so people can figure out, you know, collectively how they're going to deal with the issues in their communities. Well, that hasn't happened with this governor. Wisconsin remains one of the most polarized states in the nation, and it's a divide and conquer mentality. And as long as that continues to come out of there, you know, we're going to continue to have the problems that we have. And next year we have a chance to maybe tell him he's fired. Like the apprentice. He's fired. That was supposed to be a joke. Or need that deal, you'll have to work with me.
I was drinking water.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, the newest job report does show his policy and leadership is not working. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is a very legitimate statistic place. Yes, you know, like real facts, not alternative facts. Wisconsin is 32nd in job growth in the nation. And we're 12th in the Midwest. How many states are there in the Midwest? Mark?
15.
50, I think there's 13. So anyway, I like to call on people when they're not looking at me. So we're sinking. Don't worry about the stats, just look around. Talk to folks. And you know what? There's this thing that's called worker anxiety. Are you familiar with that? It's people who wake up and go to work, and they're anxious. And why are they anxious? They're anxious because things aren't getting better for them on the home front. They got kids who are in school. Their partners are working. They're barely making their bills. They're very anxious. And then on top of it all, they're unsure of their job. They're unsure when their benefits are going to get cut. That's called worker anxiety. And studies show that worker anxiety is on a huge incline in this economy in this time. Think about it. Think about it. And that's a terrible thing to be happening. We don't have to settle for this type of environment. We deserve better than this. We deserve better than this. So, worker anxiety, it's alive and well. And this isn't good. We are going in the wrong direction. We are taking a step backwards. Wages are stagnant. Wages aren't keeping up with productivity and inflation. Poverty levels are on the rise in the state. Our middle class is shrinking faster than any other nation, than any other state in the nation, according to the Pew Research Center. So the bright news is, we have April elections coming our way. It's a chance to make our voices heard, and a chance to make a change. So if you're nervous about Betsy DeVos, is it DeVos or DeVos?
Potato.
Anyways, that's Trump's pick for Education Secretary, who has zero experience with public schools. Vote Tony Evers for superintendent. He's going to be here Saturday. He's a good man. He cares about public education. He cares about kids. He cares about the right things. We need to support him. He's going to put kids first, fully fund schools, and fight the Trump-Walker agenda on public education. And also, you know, there's a lot of very important local elections. So check with your union and your labor councils to get a list of endorsements. Help us spread the word, make copies, get the endorsements out there so people know who will stand with workers in their local governments. What's going on in D.C.? Well, TPP is dead. That's a good thing, right? Right? And that's thanks to the work of the labor movement. One bad trade deal has been stopped for now. National right to work has been introduced. We'll keep our eyes on it. New overtime regulations have been rolled back. Pro-worker executive orders holding bad government contractors accountable are being repealed. The healthcare debate. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? I think they didn't like what the Republicans proposed. The healthcare debate is done for now. It's going to come back. And you know, in Wisconsin, we talked a lot about Walker, but we also have the honor of having Paul Ryan come from Wisconsin. You can boo. I'll get this crowd woke up yet. Anyways, this healthcare proposal this guy introduced, well, this would have cost people more money for less coverage. Kind of a bad thing. Older, poor workers, older, poor people, 24 million less would have been covered by 2026. But there was a $274 billion tax cut for the rich in the center of their health care proposal. So I don't know if any of you follow Mark Pocan, but he does a great job. He's got this great way of showing how this was a tax cut wrapped in the middle of this health care proposal. And that was their real goal. So the health care debate will continue to go on. And the one word you have to be careful of is access. Because all the plans that come up now, they're going to say, well, we're going to provide access for everybody. We're going to provide access for you and access for you to health care, right? That's the key word. You all want to say, well, access is a tricky word. Because you have access to health care now. The question is, can you afford it? You know, you can, if you have previous conditions or if you're high risk, you have access to health care, you won't be able to afford it. So it's not the word access to key in on, it's the word affordability. Because you've got to be able to afford the health care to cover you and your family. So when the debate comes up, make sure you look at those where that stands. So as it stands in their proposals, working people lose and the wealthy win. So we need to ensure affordable and fair coverage for all. And then, you know, every once in a while, there's a bill or a proposal that really kind of jumps out at you. So the one that jumped out on me is the proposal to eliminate Meals on the Wheels for the elderly. I mean, what does this say about us as a nation? We're getting ready to kick people off of welfare, make it harder for older and sicker people on welfare. And then on top of it all, we're going to take the meals for the elderly away. Is this the kind of country we really want? Is this what we see our society becoming? I mean, let's think about this. Meals for Wheels for the elderly. Doug, I was looking forward to that.
I do it every Thursday. Thursday, so you just get on my route.
I picked on Doug. But seriously, think about it. I mean, it says a lot. It says a lot. The money to cover this guy to go play golf in Florida every weekend would fund Meals for Wheels. Where are the priorities? So we stopped the one labor secretary, Andrew Putzer, from being confirmed. All right, that's a win. That's another win. What I'm trying to do here, folks, is show you a pattern. We came together, we mobilized and we advocated. We got trade deals, we got jobs put at the front of the agenda, right? Right. We moved our agenda by mobilizing, by educating our members, by organizing. What happened when the health care was introduced? The one that would have screwed so many people. You flooded the town hall meetings, you mobilized, you organized. We beat it back, right? Right. So now we got this labor secretary who's the CEO of Hardee's that exploits workers, that does all kinds of crazy stuff. That back as well. So the labor movement is alive and well. They may not want to tell you it's because of you, because they don't want to encourage you, but the truth of the matter is, direct action, mobilization, education, all those things we do, all those things we've been doing, makes a difference. In an era of post-Citizens United, when there's unlimited funds that can be used by the wealthy, organizing and mobilizing and getting our voice out there as labor and working with our coalition partners is the only vehicle we have to stop the attack on working people. So, they've introduced now Alexander Acosta to be Labor Secretary. We're reviewing his record. So we know what we are facing and what can we do. Let's use this to organize around, to motivate our members around, so that they understand that they are not powerless in this environment. We have 2017 and 2018 to build for the future. And we have to stay true to our message and stay true to our agenda of advancing the working class. We've had some programs and interactions that work. Be they solidarity roundtables, every member an organizer, solidarity building, efforts. The more we educate people on our issues, the value of collective bargaining, the more we recognize that there's more that unites us, the stronger we will be. So it is a time of change. It is a time of challenge. But let's be brave and let's be bold. We're constantly coming together and listening and working together to find solutions and forge our way forward. Let's be brave and let's be bold. And let our challenges become our strength. We're stronger together as one united labor movement. Let's remember the basics that what we are as a union, what it means to be a union. We can't lose sight of that. It means people supporting each other, people working together, people standing side by side together, having compassion and solidarity with their co-workers. It means leveling the playing field so that the company does not hold all the power. It means basic worker protections, having a say on the job, having someone in your corner during good times and during bad. We cannot give up. We must not get demoralized. We will, as always, come together and stand together. The divide and conquer playbook will not prevail. It must not prevail. Let's be brave and let's be bold as we face this new day. Shoulder to shoulder, together in solidarity as one united movement for workers, as workers indivisible. Thank you in solidarity.